So I'm here today to speak about the world of tomorrow, as this is the theme. And of course, you have heard so much about artificial intelligence and machine learning, so you have an idea about what is the world of tomorrow. That's for sure, the artificial intelligence, along with machine learning and these stuffs. But I would like to emphasize the world of tomorrow with the essential role of basic sciences, or the need of basic sciences to have a greater future. You might be surprised when I'm talking about the world of tomorrow and I'm displaying an image of the sun, as you can see. So of course, the sun was our past, it is the present, and it is the future. And being a solar scientist, I always find myself to frame the world around the sun. And of course, it is a great inspiration and an immense source of energy and power. So to take over around that. So when we talk about basic sciences, or when I say basic sciences, I don't mean you should have a greater knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics, or some other things. When I say basic sciences, I mean the simple definition which we start to hear from our childhood, just to think about how, or to think about why we see so many phenomena in our nature, and then this curiosity. The basic sciences is the ability to question about how and why when we see something. So, for example, we see the sun. Here, it's the image of the sun from a NASA Solar Dynamics Observatory. So when I talk about the sun, I tell you that this is full up of plasma material, which is boiling and boiling with so much hot temperature, and sometimes or many times the material is enormously erupting in terms of solar eruptions or coronal mass ejections. Then a simple question can come in your mind as a basic science curiosity, that how big is the sun, or in comparison to our Earth? How do we see these eruptions? When I say huge eruption, then you might wonder how huge it is. So just to answer this question, so you see that this is the size of our Earth, and this is not a small but a medium-sized eruption from the sun. So if I tell you in a very simple way, then you can see that the sun has a diameter 100 times than our Earth. Or in a simple language, we need 1 million Earths or a bit more to fill up the volume of the sun. So that's how I would like to take further the power of basic sciences when we would like to think about our future. Okay, it is supposed to play, but no. Okay. So coming back to the sun and to explain these eruptions in terms of the sciences, being in Norway, we have been witnessed many times these beautiful painted sky, we call them auroras or the northern lights. So again, the question comes in our mind, how or where they are originating. So here in Oslo, nowadays, Sognsvann has becoming a very major spot to see these lights. So we know that from the development of sciences, we know that there are enormous amount of eruptions coming out from the sun, and when the material is coming up, they are coming with some charged particles from the sun, say the electrons or the protons. So when they travel from the sun and they reach to the interplanetary space towards the Earth, then in the Earth they are collide with the Earth's magnetic field. And when they get the collision with the atoms or the molecules of the gases in the Earth's atmosphere, such as the oxygen or nitrogen, then they transfer the energy to them, and then those atoms get excited and go in a higher energy state. And while releasing the energy, they are emitting the energies in terms of different wavelengths. So we see these bright auroras everywhere. But then to think about that, of course, we need machine learning, we need artificial intelligence, and some more scientific advancement. But the important thing we need is to think or to question. So we should not stop ourselves to ask the questions, to say why or how, or yeah, like that. So the basic sciences now, they are the backbone where we stand and we start to think about that. Of course, as we see that due to the immense advancement in basic sciences, recently or a few years ago, we had faced the COVID-19 pandemic. So of course, that was the importance of basic sciences, that we could come up with some vaccines. There were people who had pursued their career in virology or in terms of medicine, starting from the basic sciences, so we could come up together to have a medicine for things like that. And in the recent years, of course, we have seen the advancement in quantum technology and the field of relativity, which has become very important to understand what is a universe, or to revolutionize our knowledge about the universe. So that is the thing which is taking us forward in terms of this artificial intelligence, or the supercomputing powers, or the field of technology. So of course, the world of tomorrow, or the future, that is very highly advanced in technology. So we should not ignore it. We should accept it, adapt it, and of course, we should not forget the artificial intelligence, whatever high extent it is efficient, it is able to do anything, but we should understand that it is us who made it. So it is the human being who has developed it. So of course, the machine can do so many tasks, but we need people to interpret that. Or we need people to govern that. Because of course, you know that if there is no regulation, it can be very dangerous. So we should think about our power to question, to think, and we should have a wide and deep knowledge starting from the basic sciences. And then we should know that we can have a beautiful and beneficial future when we are having a one-to-one partnership with the artificial intelligence. For example, we have so many satellites in the space. So that's a drawback, being a scientist or solar scientist. I always come back to the sun to explain something. So say, for example, for the sun, we have so many satellites in the space which are observing the sun from different angles, in different wavelengths, from different instruments, such as we have NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory and Parker Solar Probe. We have the Solar Orbiter mission from the European Space Agency. And very recently, India has launched its Aditya mission to study the sun. So, and we have so many of ground-based telescopes as well. We have the Swedish telescope in the Canary Islands. We have other telescopes and more missions, more future missions to come up. So these are the missions or the spacecrafts which are capturing the data. I'm talking about sun, but it is same for all the galaxies, all the stars. So they are giving you data sets. And then we develop a machine learning process to reduce these sophisticated data or to do the data analysis. But that is not the end. It's the beginning. Now we need us. We need you. We need the scientist, because you have to interpret the data. So that's how, or that's where the important aspect of basic sciences will come. So of course, it is the artificial intelligence which is having a handshake with us for our bright future. So I would like to emphasize with this talk that our young generation should have confidence, curiosity, and the fearlessness to ask questions or to think beyond their imaginations. Because you are the one who is going to make the future for us. We have developed some techniques, or you have developed some techniques, our scientists have developed some techniques, but it's you who will go on the future to use them. So that's how I always emphasize, or I would like to give this message to our young youth, that you should not suppress the curiosity which is inside you. And you should not be fearful of asking the questions or to think. So the important message or the take-home message from my talk is that is your curiosity, which makes you very much aware about the basic sciences, and that's how you can rule, or you can take these artificial intelligence and machine learning, all these things ahead. Thank you very much.